Last summer I recommended you a gambit in the Italian opening that is pretty dangerous, and I assure you I suggested that you have good chances to trick your opponents by playing it. In case you haven't seen this video, I suggest you do it. It's based on a game of Alekhine. Yes, a simultaneous game, but yeah, this is a fantastic game. I'm gonna recall it a bit now, but in case you haven't seen that video, please take a look at it. Now I'm gonna share 5 powerful ideas, 5 powerful attacking ideas to build your confidence around the possibility of playing this gambit. In today's video, I'm gonna show you 5 powerful ideas to build this repertoire with, this tricky line in the Italian opening. So make sure to stay till the end of the video, because there I'm gonna reveal the best line for black, and I'm going to show you that we're not running into such a big risk by playing this line all together. So without further ado, let's jump right into the first idea. Okay, the first idea starts e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, and now c3, threatening to build a center with d4, attacking the bishop. This is pretty normal. The Greco attack, knight f6, they attack our pawn, and d4. This is pretty normal. After e takes d4, there are several options for white, but the gambit I'm recommending is castle. Well, usually c takes d4 is the most popular, but then we get this check and our pawn, our e4 pawn, is in danger, so it's going to fall. So by playing castle, we are now threatening c takes d4. And sometimes, when they don't want to get into trouble, get into complications, they might castle. And this is our first line. This is the game of Alekhine that I just mentioned. After c takes d4, bishop b6, and now we can advance our pawns. We have to decide which one to advance, and the right one to advance is the d pawn. The thing is that if we advance e5, then d5 is pretty strong. E takes f6, d takes e4, and this pawn gets, attacked and is not so comfortable. So after playing d5, knight e7, knight a5 is not such a good move because of bishop d3. We're playing b4 and the knight is horribly placed. So after knight e7, they are putting some pressure here and here, but we can advance. Our central pawns are going to advance and to harass white and to harass black's pieces. After knight e8, d6, c takes d6, e takes d6, bishop g5. This is a fantastic move. We are forcing knight f6. They have to pin themselves. And knight c3. This is Alekhine's game, h6 and queen d3. I'm not sure whether Alekhine played queen d3 or queen c2 is the same, but queen d3. And there's something curious here. This position has arisen 1,041 times on Lichess. And this is incredible because, this is a bad variation, but your opponents are very likely to play it. So this is a good opportunity. And this happens with most of the lines we're going to analyze. So this is interesting. H takes g5, queen takes g6, that's the idea. We use the power of the bishop to pin the pawn, the f pawn. We are simply capturing. And after knight h7, knight d5, a beautiful move. And curiously, again, there are 9 games with f takes g6, knight e7, king h8, and knight takes g6, checkmate. This one will learn it in the game of Alekhine, but if you want to see more details about this small tactical skirmish, you can see the game. So let's continue with idea number 2. Idea number 2, again, after knight f6, d4, e takes d4, we castle, and now the most popular move is d takes c3. It's been played several times. Curiously, the second most popular is castle, so there are fantastic chances our opponents castle, as we've seen in the idea number 1, and this is a very bad move actually. So after d takes c3, we push our e pawn, and now the most popular is knight g4, but still A crazy amount of people plays knight e4. That loses right away to queen d5. That threatens checkmate and attacks the knight. So after castle, queen takes e4, and we are a piece up easily. So let's jump into the third idea. The third idea involves the same variation but with knight g4. So after c3, knight f6, d4, e takes d4, castle, d takes c3, e5, and now knight g4. Yeah, we have several ways to play. It's important to note that queen d5 is not so effective now, attacking the bishop and threatening checkmate because of queen e7. After knight g4, the real shocker is bishop takes f7, king takes f7, knight g5, and now curiously the most played move is king g8, trying to artificially castle. But yeah, 5,000 people have played king g8 and queen d5, leading to a checkmate, king f8, and queen f7 checkmate. Well, this is a curious one. Of course, if they've played king f8 or king e8, still we are better after capturing. They may capture our central pawn, but then we win an exchange with queen f5, attacking the bishop and checking, so forcing queen f6, knight takes h7, rook takes h7, queen takes h7, c takes b2, bishop takes b2, and yeah, we're close to winning. Yeah, this is winning according to the engine. As you can see, this is almost +2. So this is a very promising line. Okay, so let's jump right into the fourth line. So after, yeah, this one is the main line. We'll start with the main line. After d4, e takes d4, castle, the main line, curiously, is knight takes e4. Yeah, this one requires courage or knowledge. Both are equally important. And now we capture on d4. Yeah, the thing is that rook e1 is answered by d5, and yeah, we get nothing. So we must capture c takes d4, and now the right move is d5. This is the right move, but yeah, plenty of people, as you can see, play bishop b6. It's very popular, and now there we have the chance to keep advancing. We advance the pawn to attack the knight, but also to stop black from playing d5. This is pretty important. So d5, knight e7, and here we have to be careful because yeah, the bishop and the knight are attacking f2, so we need to play queen e2, creating an annoying pin along the e file, knight d6, bishop d3, and now curiously, yeah, they want to castle because if they play h6, then rook e1, and they are not able to castle. Castle, we take the knight, and we're a piece up. So they are in a hurry to castle, but they are not as lucky as they wish. They are not fortunate enough because bishop takes h7 wins the game, king takes h7, knight g5, and here, as you can see, 100 people plays king g8. Yeah, there are a lot of games with king g8, and king g6 is the best move, of course. First, we need to understand what happens with king g8. Usually king g8 is pretty bad, but here, queen h5, rook e8. The difference with a lot of positions here is that the knight is defending f7, and queen h7, king f8, queen h8 is not a checkmate because of knight g8. Yeah, they may trust in this line, but actually they are absolutely, yeah, the position is complete disaster. Knight h7, king e7. Now we have a couple of good moves. The simplest possibly is bishop g5, forcing f6, queen takes g7, knight f7, and here we can play both bishop f4, yeah, avoiding the king d6, or simply knight takes f6, and this one looks, yeah, this is a complete disaster. The last idea is after e takes d4 again, we castle, and they capture, but when we play c takes d4, they retreat to e7. Yeah, this one looks pretty sensible, as it blocks the e file. The bishop also participates in the defense of the king side, I mean. And yeah, this one looks much better than bishop b6. But anyways, we push our d pawn, forcing the knight back. Now rook e1. Now without the bishop on b6, we can activate the rook, which is more natural. Knight d6. Otherwise, knight f6 might be met with d6. That is pretty annoying. They prefer to play knight d6. And here there are 2,800 games, almost 3,000 games with bishop d3, but I consider bishop d5 more effective. This is shocking. Yeah, we're trying to capture, of course. We are pinning this one, but they can play f6, and suddenly our bishops are both attacked. And have we gone too far? No. Yeah, we can retreat, bishop d3. Yeah, creating pressure against h7, and after f takes g5, knight takes g5, creating a bunch of threats. We're prepared to play queen h5. We're also prepared to take on h7 with the knight or with the bishop. So this is pretty difficult for them. Yeah, castle is the most played, not the only one. Of course, g6 can also be played, but after knight takes h7, this one is going to fall. And look how all these queenside pieces, black's queenside pieces, are not participating. So we have a big advantage in mobilization, so we can try to use it to our advantage. So let's continue with castle. That looks pretty normal. And here we have a couple of ways to continue, but I think that queen h5 is the simplest. Yeah, now we're attacking h7, and h6 is the move. Bishop takes g5 is pretty similar to h6. I'm going to play it right now. So after h6, queen g6, bishop takes g5, queen h7, king f7. Yeah, they seem to be running away with the material, but of course the king is too exposed. So bishop g6, king f6, and bishop h5, and there is no way to, well, not reasonable way to deal with this one. This is pretty similar to what could have happened after bishop g5. Bishop g5 must be answered with queen takes h7, king f7, bishop g6, king f6, and again bishop h5, winning the game. Yeah, there is no way to deal with this. Yeah, and it's interesting to see the main line. I want to give you this as a bonus. I'm gonna tell you the best line for black, so you can see that we're not running such a big risk. So here, rather than running away with the bishop, d5 is the best move. And yeah, this is a strong move. This is the professional move. But after d takes e5, d takes e4, we play queen e2, creating some threats. Yeah, we're threatening to capture, and they are forced to play queen d3. This is the best move. So here we play rook e1, keeping the tension, and their best choice is f5. Yeah, capturing right away, queen takes e2, rook takes e2, a5, now knight c3, castle, knight takes e4, f takes e4, rook takes e4, and we are doing great. After bishop f5, rook takes e4, rook a d8, threatening mate, but we play bishop e3 and we're pawn up. So this one looks pretty reasonable for us. So after rook e1, the good move is f5. Now we play knight c3, they castle, we capture on e4, f takes e4, queen takes e4, and bishop f5. Yeah, this is black's best line, and yeah, they perform pretty well. But even though after the best move, queen h4, yeah, this has been played a whole bunch of times, we have a nice percentage. So queen h4, and here there are some lines here. Rook a8 is the most normal, but it was very interesting to see knight b4 because this one is pretty direct. They are trying to play knight c2 and get an exchange. So we play bishop f4, allowing knight c2, knight c2, rook a d1, and curiously the queen has nowhere to go, so they must sacrifice the queen. Knight takes e1, rook takes d3, knight takes d3, and bishop takes c7. Usually having two rooks against a queen is a good business, but here this pawn is falling and we can place our bishop on d6 and develop a very important task of blockading the play of black's rooks. The game may continue with knight takes b2, bishop e5, rook a d8, threatening mate. We play h3, opening a window for our king. Knight d3, queen takes c4, king h8, bishop d6, attacking the rook and blockading the action of the d rook. So after rook f e8, knight g5. And this one looks pretty nice. We're threatening knight f7, bishop g6 is forced, and f4. And we have a very nice position. Yeah, this one. We can even play knight f7, capture, and our queen will become pretty active. Probably we're threatening f5 and f6 there. So this one looks very nice for us. Instead, rook e8 is black's best choice. So here we can play bishop f4. And again, they have choices, but rook e4 is the best according to the engine. And here we play queen g3. Yeah, we are threatening c7, rook f e8, and h3. So this one, yeah, is not beautiful. They are very active, but we are also threatening things. So bishop takes c7. They may continue with knight d4, trying to deflect our knight and capture on e1. But here we can simplify by playing rook takes e4, queen takes e4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, rook c1, queen takes b2, rook c2, queen takes a2, and here bishop e5. We're threatening mates, and against rook e7 we play rook d4, again threatening rook d8, and our position is pretty normal, I guess. h6, rook d8, king h7, and bishop takes c7. And yeah, the position is even. So I've been analyzing it because I'm curious. I mean, I'm gonna start playing it for sure. I invite you to do the same because we're running a tiny risk and the reward is, yeah, it's massive, I guess. So I hope you enjoyed the idea. I hope you are able to use it from today. And yeah, let me know if you do it. Yeah, let me know. Share your experiences with the community we're building. And okay, thank you very much for your attention and see you next time. Goodbye.